Hey, this is James, and in this video I'm going to share some of the student feedback that they left me on their last day of school when they took their finals. But before I get into that, I just want to say that this marks my 1-year anniversary of uploading my very first vlog, and I've vlogged every week since then. I stuck to my commitment. During the school year I vlogged actually every single day, and that was rough, but I made it 1 full year of vlogging. So with that said, let me go ahead and get straight to the student feedback in no particular order. Number 1, you need to teach us in person and take notes with us, not letting us use the Chromebooks to teach us. You're the teacher, Lias, not Tyler from the note-taking videos. Ouch. So the funny thing about this is I used a mix of videos in the spring semester. I didn't use a lot of videos in the fall semester because the students didn't have their own Chromebooks. I had a cow, computer on wheels, but I didn't use it as frequently as I did the spring semester. And towards the end, if you followed my vlogs all this time, the last grading period, I decided to experiment with blended learning and standards-based grading. And I used like 4 videos from Tyler DeWitt. Awesome videos, by the way. I enjoy his videos. I think they're great. And I think there were several students who just like latched onto that very last part, and unfortunately my class is going to be known as just showing videos when in reality like I did a mix of that. But I probably should have maybe planned that a little bit better if that's how the student is feeling, and I've already been thinking about that for next school year. Number 2, I feel that in my part I was really talkative, and that's on me. But I think that you're a really good person, you're nice, and you give people chances, but your type of teaching I don't really understand at all. But other than that, thanks for all the things you did teach me, and thanks for your help. Okay, so the student at least is holding him or herself accountable for, I guess, their actions during the school year. It's a little bit vague because I don't understand, specifically what the student is referring to, like my style of teaching. Are they talking about like the incorporation of the blended videos, me doing like the learning stations at the very beginning of the school year in the fall semester? Don't really know particularly what the student is referring to, but it's great to know that they are holding themselves accountable for their actions during the school year. Number 3, you're a great teacher, and I feel the videos did help a lot to explain everything, and you would go at your own pace. So here I have a student who enjoyed the videos, and they felt, and it's one of the reasons I started the whole blended learning thing, is because I wanted students to be able to go at their own pace, because I had a mix of students. Even in a pre-AP class, I had students that were really high level, and they would get everything, immediately when I would teach them, or if they missed a class, a couple classes, they'd come back and I give them a 5-minute powwow. They were able to do the problems versus students who had been here the entire time. And then I had students, like I just mentioned, who struggled throughout the year. So this particular student, I think, benefited from the videos. Number 4, Mr. Lias, you were a good teacher. You were unique to all my other teachers, and that is what makes you a special teacher. This class is one of my hardest because it required being able to think comprehensively and be able to keep up and not fall behind. This was a challenging year, but at the end I benefit from it because it helped me grow in my education. Thank you. Thank you for leaving me that nice comment. Yeah, I did try, different things, and think, there were some pros and cons, and there were some students who appreciated that, and there were some students who, in some of the comments did not like that, and ended up not liking me because I was doing these different things. So it's the price that I paid for trying to venture out and experiment. Number 5, I felt that at times that you didn't explain enough. It would have been nice if we could have seen more examples. Okay, that's something definitely for me to keep in mind for next school year. I felt that I did make a lot of examples with some of the videos and sometimes going out of my way, but perhaps, and maybe this person was referring to like in class, I don't really know, or just more practice problems where I worked them out and took pictures and uploaded them to the Canvas site. But that is something that I already considered, and I'm starting to develop that bank, so that way I have just a bank of practice problems, examples for the students, because that was something that I tried to do this past school year, but just because of time and other reasons, my anxiety, my depression, I just wasn't able to get to all of that. Number 6 is a long one. Overall, I enjoyed this class despite of what my peers said. I think that fall semester went better due to the fact that you taught us in person rather than on videos. For me, I think I would have done better the last 6 weeks if you would have taught us in class. The videos were great, but when a question popped up, I couldn't actually ask for help. 1, they were videos on an actual person. 2, you were busy with other kids that needed more help. I also liked when our tests were on paper rather than blend, because if we made silly mistakes, they would mark it wrong, and it just seemed like it was harder for you to go back and check everyone's mistakes instead of them being on paper. Also, the new grading policy, I wasn't a super fan of it, and neither were a lot of the people I talked to. Maybe it will go better next year, but thank you for teaching us chemistry. I actually learned a lot, and most of the things that you taught us helped me in biotech. So there were some positive things with that. You know, the student was able to apply what they were learning in my class to one of their other classes. I'm interested in what their peers, what the peers were saying. If I could be a fly on the wall with that. Yes, so if you follow my vlogs again, the last grading period, I decided to do a trial of standards-based grading. It wasn't perfect, obviously, and there are some things that I felt worked really well and some things that I'm like, okay, I need to really fix this if this is what I plan to do this upcoming school year. And then again, like the video thing sort of baffles me because for the most part, up until the very end, the videos were of me, and there was one particular topic where like I went all out and I had like graphics up and I told a story, and that topic, like the students did really well, like, and that concept required multiple steps in order to get an answer. And that was the one particular topic where I did, you know, really like high quality video where a lot of students got not only 100 on the quizzes, the tests when that topic came up, but then when the final exam came up as well, they made either hundreds or they scored really high on that. My other videos weren't as like high production as that particular, or those particular videos I should say. I tried like screencasting the videos and the pictures of me using a tablet. So we'll see. I need to kind of go back and maybe I can ask some of these students next year, like, you know, like if they can elaborate, because again, I'm a little bit confused. You know, they can always pause the video and ask me for help, and that's the reason like I made the videos, for them to go at their own pace, pause it, but maybe I need to figure out a different system where like I say, okay, now bring your paper up to me and I'm going to ask you some questions to see if you understand, or this is an opportunity for you to ask me questions, or even have like a station where they meet with me one-on-one. So those are some things that I definitely need to consider. Number 7, warn people how behind they will get if they don't attend class. Yeah. So I already have a system in place for this. However, what I will say is maybe I need to help students learn how to become a little bit more responsible and accountable. So if they miss several classes, they come and see their teacher right away and ask for what they need to do. However, with that said, I have developed, and I've actually been planning with the other teachers who will be teaching period B chemistry next year, is we're going to map out in Canvas basically like a daily schedule. Like, these are the activities that we're doing, and then this is like the homework / to-do list. So if you're ever absent, I need to make sure that I teach the students to go to this particular calendar to see what we've been doing, and hopefully they'll be able to access it without having to come, you know, see me. But that's something that I've already started implementing for next school year, and hopefully it will work out. Number 8, I feel like you should do more in-class live working instead of videos. For me, I get more out of it being close, and I can see it and ask questions, and seeing it be done live helps rather than videos. The grading system this 6 weeks thought was whack. It involved more paperwork instead of blend. So yes, the grading system, some of the students were not a fan of it. And again, you know, I was doing it for the first time. And I guess in many years since coming back into the classroom. And you know, I'm wondering if they didn't like it because that entire time up into the last grading period, they were used to, and this is perhaps the reason, they were used to the previous grading system that I utilized. And so where I had switched to like the standards-based grading and like the number scale, and they had to come in and demonstrate mastery, some of the students at that point, they were actually forced to come in, whereas in previous grading periods, if they just knew they got like an A or something, or like a B, then they just left it at that. But these are all things that I need to consider, because if I want to implement that next school year, then I want to make sure I get, my problems out of the way. Number 9, I enjoyed your class first semester. It was one of my favorites. Second semester was definitely a lot more challenging. I preferred if you teach live in person or do half and half maybe, since we all learn differently. Overall, I love the phone lines you would do for us whenever we needed to remember something, even if some made fun of it or thought they were cheesy. Great class. I'm sure we both learned from each other. Thank you. Okay, so that was one comment that I saw a lot, that many of the students preferred the fall semester, and that's because I did more the, me standing at the document camera, and have students taking notes. And I also did a majority of the stations during the learning stations during the fall semester. And then the spring semester, I made the switch to trying to do a blended learning. And again, I'm still confused because of the fact that at any point the students, it's still me teaching the material. They could have stopped the video and asked. And so I perhaps need to deliberately build in structures for them to stop and ask, or even do a whole group back, versus just having them go at their own pace in class. And then the last one I'm going to share for this video. Thank you, Mr. Lies, for being my chemistry teacher this year. This class was challenging for me, but I tried my hardest. I did like your ways of teaching, except when you started making us use the video to take notes. I personally did not like it because I didn't understand anything, and my note-taking was horrible, so I didn't have enough of the necessary information to make me successful. The labs were awesome. I liked every single one. I would have preferred to do most of my work on paper than on computer. Once again, thank you for your dedication and have a great summer. So here's another one where the students didn't really like the videos, and they were more specific because they felt that them just taking notes on their own didn't help them be successful, or they weren't equipped. And that actually is my fault, because after I'd done that and I started reflecting, I realized I did not scaffold that note-taking process. If I wanted them to take notes off a video or to mimic what they would do in college, I needed to help them build that skill. And so majority of the school year, they received interactive notebook notes that had blanks in them. And so as I talked, they would fill things out, and we would do an I do, we do, you do gradual release. And there they had the notes, versus if I wanted them to do what I had them do at the end of the school year, I should have slowly started taking bits and pieces away, and maybe even having some guiding questions on the board, so that way as they were watching the videos, they could have referred to the guiding questions on the board, or even in the Canvas application software. And I didn't do that. And so this particular student is right, like, they didn't have the tools to be successful. So what were they supposed to copy everything down, or what if they missed something? So definitely my fault. And again, I'm grateful that the student left me specific feedback, so that way I keep that in mind for next school year. Well, that's it. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you for watching. I will release another student feedback, because I had over 110 results back, and so I need to comb through all of them and see which ones I can share without students, because some of the students put some information in there about themselves, and so I can't share that. So if you watched this far, again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye. Well, that's it. If there was anything about this video that you liked, then make sure to hit that like button, comment down below, and or share the video. If you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe so that way you can bond with James. And if you're interested in checking out some of my other vlogs, you can do so by clicking on any of the links right here. As always, thanks for watching.